Welcome to the OPN All Members official podcast, discussing all good things PC gaming.
What is with that music?
Yeah, that music. It could have been.
Man.
I like it. It's chill.
Oh, hey, we're live already. Awesome. Up. And technical difficulties. Am I alive? Am I working? Awesome.
No.
No?
Nope. It's loading. It's loading.
Hey! How about now?
Still loading.
All right, cool. I'm just going to be this loading thing. Anyway, God, that was some wonderful music, wasn't it? I feel like I was in an elevator. Anyway, hello. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the OP Noobs podcast. I am unfortunately your host, Steven, who also goes by Slave to Machine. Michael, who goes by Lonely Asian, could not make it due to either contractual obligations or he might be in jail. We're not sure. Anyway... for all of you that are watching, we have a bunch of different faces. As you can see, I may or may not have a face, which is awesome. But I've already introduced myself, so everybody else, floor is yours.
Hi, I'm yeah. Keep switching from face to loading to face. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's up now. All right, there you go.
It should have been loading. Go.
All right, so my name is Noor. I go by my gamer tag or Steam name or whatever you want to call it, MNK. I play, as of now, I currently play a lot of Dota 2. Dota 2, I do, I'm kind of going back playing older games like Borderlands 2. I'm doing a lot of that. Skyrim. I'm still modding Skyrim. From the first season of the podcast, I was still modding Skyrim, and now I'm still modding Skyrim. It's just a very on and off thing, because once you start, it just becomes a full-time job kind of thing. So, yeah. But,
there's rehab programs for that now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going well. Other than that, I'm just kind of going back playing older games every once in a while, like the old Hitman games, things like that. And now I'm waiting for GTA 5 to be released for the PC. And so that's where I'm at as of now.
Awesome. Is your username XTI? Am I saying that right? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yes. My name's Akeem. I go by XTI in most of the games that I play. I've been playing WoW. Well, I played WoW since like the end of Wrath, and then I quit. Now I'm all into Guild Wars, so I'm throwing all my time into. Yeah, and then League of Legends, and I'm trying out Smite. I'm trying out a whole bunch of other games since I got this new laptop. So, but I'm trying to get back into RPG, but I find them so boring. I like the competitiveness of the MOBAs and stuff like that. So I'm struggling between that, but I'm playing a lot of games and stuff like that now. But yeah.
Cool. What you doing in Guild Wars 2? What class?
I just got my Guardian at 80, and that's like my new favorite class. I could run in, blow things up, and then just walk away. It's great. So, yeah, I'm gearing him up and stuff like that now.
Of all the MOBAs, because there's like thousands of them, and somebody just recently turned me on to HOTS. Thanks, Fred. Damn. Which one's the best one in your opinion?
In my opinion, it really depends on what kind of MOBA play you are, because there's Dota 2, which is a lot more strategic than League of Legends. You know what I mean? League of Legends, you can run around, you can make more mistakes and stuff, and you can really carry people a lot more easier than you can in Dota, where it's kind of like if someone like Riki or Bloodseeker, I believe his name was, gets fed, you might as well, you might as well leave the game and stop trying, because it's a lot more strategic, a lot more items. I never played Heroes of New Earth. I seen the game. I don't know. It just never really appealed to me. But I like Smite. I like Smite a lot. I like the, how the camera difference and everything like that. And most of the stuff like that, skill shots. You have to, really have to aim your skills and really have to be more more precise with the the skills, so you can't really just spam abilities. But I'm
Okay.
not really sure about that game yet.
Cool. All right. Well, I figure we'll get into like a knockdown drag out fight about MOBAs at some point. We almost did on the last podcast. In case anybody wants to see, we have it right there on the Twitch, on past videos. Anyway, last but certainly not least, DJ Sketch. Who are you?
Well, as you stated, I am DJ Sketch, but my IRL name is Chris. I am a I guess you could say kind of a low-level streamer before I met you guys, primarily Diablo 3, and then I have ventured off into Heroes of the Storm here recently. I've done some H1Z1, some Counter-Strike, Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I've done a range of stuff since I've started streaming, so it's definitely opened me up to a lot more games than what I used to only play, which was probably Diablo 3. I've been playing that forever. I started out in Diablo 2, and I played that for 5 years straight. It consumed pretty much my whole high school career, and then I graduated and got a real life. And then, and that real life consisted of me pretty much joining the military, and then I got out and I found gaming again, and that's pretty much what I do if I'm not at work. So yeah.
I have a question for you. Have you ever played Torchlight?
Yes, I have.
Played Torchlight. I actually have it on this computer.
Nice.
So how would you say the difference is? Because I played Torchlight and I played Diablo. I much rather got into Torchlight way faster than I got into Diablo for some reason. Like Diablo is just, I know it's like the same thing, but it's just the feel to it, I guess, is just different. What would you say, since you played Diablo a lot more?
It's definitely pretty much in my opinion, a Diablo 2 knockoff. But what makes it, I mean, it's got its own class and such, but what makes it unique is that it's moddable. And so there's actually a whole big community of people that mod it and add their own items. I really like it just because of that aspect. I've never really played the actual like online game of just Torchlight. I've pretty much just played mods of it, and and I really just enjoy that function of it.
Yeah, I never tried the modded version. I need to though. I just been trying to play the single player, and I don't know. It seems a lot more fast paced. It seems a lot more fun. Like Diablo 3 kind of came out really unpolished, and they had to change a lot of things. But to me, Torchlight 2 just when I first played, I'm sure they probably updated and everything like that over the years and stuff. But compared to how it is when it first plays, like after the certain amount of time playing Diablo and after the amount of time Torchlight passed, it seems like Torchlight is a little bit more fine-tuned. Do you think?
Well, if you're comparing like Torchlight to Diablo 3, they're almost. I mean, the only comparison you can really make them to is that they're both dungeon crawlers, in my opinion. I'd say Torchlight is definitely more on the lines of Diablo and Diablo Lord of Destruction, because it kind of modeled. I would say they probably got a lot of their model of how the game functions just from that alone.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that about Diablo, because I recently got my hands on a copy of Pillars of Eternity, which, if you like RPGs and you like isometric RPGs, stop. Just go get it. Go get it now, because it's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. The writing alone is amazing. It's top notch. Your stats actually matter in dialogue, not just charisma stats, but it's about as close to taking the pen and paper tabletop RPG elements and slamming them into a video game, and it does it really, really well. I saw you nodding your head emphatically. So have you gotten a hand on it? How do you feel about it?
I think it's great. I believe that was a Kickstarter game, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter game in 2012, and it just got released this year.
I think it's a beautiful game. Really, really good for a Kickstarter game. It's really just I think it's blown itself away as far as that. I don't think I've seen I personally have never played a Kickstarter game that's that well, honestly.
As Shadowrun. I mean, if you look at, again, shameless plug, OP Noobs, opnoobs.com. If you look at anything to do with Shadowrun that's on the site, my name is usually attached to it. I am a huge Shadowrun fanboy, whatever you want to call it. That was those were the games that actually made me think, hey, Kickstarter, it's not a scam. Even though I've backed a bunch of games on Kickstarter and I've seen a lot of bad things happen with Kickstarter, those are the only games that make me think, this Kickstarter thing has something going to it. And I'm still not bitter about backing Tim Schafer, even though he's taking a lot of freaking time to get his game out there. Anyway, regards to Blizzard, actually that's a great lead in. So Blizzard recently released their version of EVE Online's Plex. They recently released the WoW currency, the WoW tokens, and within 24 hours of being released, they started at 30,000 gold for worth and immediately dropped like a rock to about 22,000 gold in the way of worth. Everybody did exactly what I kind of guessed they would do. They hoarded them. They were $20 a shot. They bought a whole bunch of them. They went to the auction house and turned them over for a really quick profit, dropping the value of the token. Gosh. Anybody that plays WoW, yeah. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? I mean, what do you think about using in-game currency to pay your real-life subscription? I mean, we know that it works. We've seen it with CCP Games and their Plex system for EVE Online. The #1 Excel spreadsheet generator on the face of the planet. But I don't know. Is this like a desperation move on Blizzard's part to try and get people back into WoW? Since they've been around for about 10 years or so, are they starting to lose steam? What do you think?
I mean, I personally think so, because it's like the whole crowd that was playing the game when it first came out is a completely different crowd now. You know what I mean? If you was 20 years old when you was first playing the game, now all of a sudden you're 30 years old, you have other responsibilities. You know what I mean? Like the game, it lost a generation that really it captured in the first place, in my opinion. Now they have to all of a sudden appeal to a different kind of crowd that's into a different kind of gaming community. You know what I mean? Like a lot of games nowadays are like a lot of shooting, and a lot of really good graphics, a lot of stories, and a lot of action, stuff like that. But WoW is a different kind of game that, like I said, appealed to the more of the older generation. Now you have games that most of them are coming out. The big games are coming out for consoles and stuff like that, and you have the games that are coming out for computers, but less. I wouldn't say it's just less fluent. It's less fluent than you would get with a lot of console games.
Okay. DJ, you've obviously played a lot of Blizzard stuff. I know you mentioned Diablo a lot. Have you ever touched the WoW at all?
Yeah, I've played WoW. I got a character of each class up to 100, and I'd say they are losing steam with WoW just because it's 10 years old, and they really have almost done everything you could probably imagine at this point, and I think they're just maybe losing ideas because other people are coming up with ideas and adding them to new MMOs and such, so they kind of lose that aspect of it, because they were like the first of their kind when they came out. They kind of revolutionized the MMO genre pretty much. But with that though, I think they still keep people coming back though with the expansions, because I mean, what was it when the Warlords of Draenor came out? They were back up to like 10 million subscriptions, I think it was, within the first couple days, maybe week of when they came out. So people still want to play the game. They still like to see the content. I think the content may just start, if it hasn't already, just start lacking in general.
Mm-hmm. Nor, how are you feeling about it? Or have you managed to dodge WoW for 10 years or so?
Yeah, I've actually never played WoW, surprisingly. I've always wanted to play MMOs or just PC games in general, but I had a potato for a computer growing up.
That's
So
okay. From what I understand, Vanilla WoW ran really well on Spuds, as far as I know.
Yeah, I
I
was.
No, I dodged it for the longest time. I was a EverQuest 2 guy because I was in the beta for that before Sony lost its total mind and decided to run everything into the ground. But so you managed to dodge World of Warcraft entirely?
Yeah, because I mean, not only wasn't I was not a big PC gamer back as I was growing up, because I think WoW, if it came out 10 years ago, I was in, I believe, middle school 10 years ago, and then so then during that time I was a PC gamer. I mean, I was a console gamer. I only became a PC gamer about 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago. I just got a custom PC, and but I mean, the biggest turnoff for me, at least for WoW, was the $15 a month. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not. I was already paying for Xbox Live at that time, so I was like, yeah, no, I can't do it. $15 a month. And as a kid, like telling your parents, yeah, just $15 a month is no problem. Don't worry about it. It was a different story. But I think, I mean, yeah, it's only natural that it would lose its steam after like 10 years. It's like, but it doesn't mean that it's like good, it's a bad game or anything like that. It's been out for so long, and it's like you said, the generation is like it's a whole different generation now. And then on top of that, with it's free to play is becoming so popular now with MMOs. It's like just recently ESO Elder Scrolls Online just went free to play at the end last month. They just went free to play. So
Yeah.
or not free to play. It's more like it's kind of like Guild Wars 2 where you buy the game once and then you can play it free from then on. Yeah, that's what just happened with ESO last month. And then when I remember, because I bought ESO when it first came out last year, and everyone was like, "Yeah, no way, man! It's not gonna go to free to play. It's gonna be subscription and all this cool stuff." And what do you know? It went. I mean, it went technically free to play or pay once, whatever. I'll use free to play is just as easier. But yeah, what do you know? It didn't. A year later, it went free to play. It's like that's just the way it is now. So then the currency doesn't surprise me because that's a way where they can still have a subscription base, but then also have another thing like an incentive, I guess, like a way to make it free to play. Because
See, now, I mean that's what's weird to me because even though they have instituted this WoW token thing, and DJ is totally right. I mean, every time there's been an expansion release for World of Warcraft, all the old hands will load it back up, buy the subscription for about a month or so, and they'll buy the expansion, and the numbers will swell because everybody's experiencing the content. But at this point, people are so versed in how to run through the content, the high-end content, they're done with it in weeks or days even, or even hours. So at that point, they get back into it and then they immediately drop back off. So the numbers drop and it looks bad, and then we're all parroting the same line. Oh, wow, lost all these subscribers again. I don't know. There's something about World of Warcraft and the addictive nature that seems to be more addictive than other MMOs out there. Because let's face it, MMOs, it's all meant to keep you on a treadmill, right? That's kind of how they keep people in. Yeah. So it seems like World of Warcraft is the only game at this point that can get away with a paid subscription, and nobody cares. Nobody balks at it. Every other MMO that comes out, everybody's like, yeah, it's going to go free to play in a week. People are still saying WoW's going to go free to play. It's yet to do so. So why do you think Blizzard, what are they doing right that everybody else is doing wrong?
I think it's just from when it came out. So I think I think it's the fan base really that just keeps it going at that, where people, and as I brought up about the content, I think they add a little content here and there that just keeps it going. So like you said, as an addiction, people just they stay addicted to it in hopes of that content, so they keep on playing and keep on playing. And I think they've kind of gotten it down to they should release content to keep their faithful people faithful to them, as well as bringing back people. Because honestly, when an expansion comes out, I get it. I get my subscription. I get all my characters to max level, and then I cut it off. And I know a lot of people that just do that just to keep their characters at that level. And then in hopes, for me, it's in hopes of maybe they'll bring some actual like content I want to keep on playing, as opposed to just doing it for like a week or up to a month and then just stopping altogether.
Okay. So that being said, I mean, we've got another. I'm almost hesitant to mention any of this, but at the top of this, we mentioned about Mortal Kombat X and we mentioned GTA 5. So I gotta be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of playing fighting games on a PC. I know.
Well,
right?
with me, I don't mind, because you can just get those the non-name brand controllers, and you would just plug in by USB port, plug it in your computer, and you can play with the computer.
You can even use the
controller.
Microsoft brand controller, because it's USB. You just plug it in, and since it's Microsoft Windows, it works fine.
Right, right. But I don't know. There's something to me about, I'm like other people on this call. I'm old enough to remember when, you went out and played with other people in these things called arcades, and you played a fighting game there. To me, I feel like some of the magic is kind of gone when you're playing online with somebody, because the fun was trash talking somebody standing next to you.
Nothing
just screaming into a mic.
At least when it comes to fighting games, nothing still beats the couch combat. Nothing will ever beat that. At least when it comes to fighting games. I mean, other games, it's like whatever. Like Call of Duty Online, it's like multiplayer is gonna be better. But like fighting games, I totally understand. It's like in person is when the fighting game is like the best.
Being able to juggle someone in Tekken or something, or fighting someone in Soul Calibur and be able to own them in face and be able to look at them, and be able to say I own you. Yeah, those are the best days for sure.
But then why wouldn't you get it on the PC though? Is it because PS4 you can also play online though? So it's
for the PC, you can plug in it too. In the USB port.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. If the PC version was a turnoff because of the controls, you could put a controller in and play that. Because I'm pretty sure, I hope so, that Mortal Kombat X has controller support for the PC.
I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like I said. I mean, it. I figured it was going to be a not so popular stance on a podcast for PC. OP noobs. Yeah. But. I don't know. There's just something about it which has never really got my attention. And I don't know. Maybe it's because Mortal Kombat to me has always meant a stand-up excuse me. That's a dirty word. A stand-up arcade cabinet to me. Maybe it's just me being wistful or whatnot. That's just my opinion on it. But who here has a fight stick, and what fight stick are you using? I mean, obviously, you're not using a keyboard and a mouse to play the fighting game. But what do y'all use?
I'm D-pad. I'm not a stick. I'm a D-pad fighter.
Wow.
Yeah, I much rather use a controller than a stick. I can't.
DJ?
Well, I personally, okay. I have a brief history in fighting games where I really tried to go really competitive, and so. But I found out I was just absolutely terrible at fighting games, so I haven't really touched them since. But I think the thing with fighting games is that most of their PC ports, they have had some good ones, but most of them aren't really that great. Mm-hmm. I mean, the newest Dead or Alive, for example, the PC port was terrible, just absolutely terrible from what I've been hearing. And so I think pretty much the consoles have just revolutionized that particular game just all around, especially in competition type things and all that. And that's why I think it's more appealing onto a console than per se PC. But with that being said, with what I've seen in fighting games that have came out, they've kind of been coming out a little more often than so lately in the past years for PC, and I think that's just maybe because there's a demand for it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that at least the PC market, at least probably when it comes to fighting games, is getting like more open or more demanding, like you said. I know fighting games do have a bad rep when it comes to PC ports, which is that's what everyone's hoping for Mortal Kombat X to change that, because I've been following Mortal Kombat X since they like announced it, and at least Mortal Kombat 9, the last game that was released, it was a bad port on the PC. At least when it came to the online, they're like the online's bad. The net code was like really terrible. So you couldn't play it or anything like that. Other than that, I think the port itself was fine. But then again, they for that game they did it differently. They did it like how some companies they will develop the game for the platforms they want to develop for, and then for the other ones that they want to release it, but they don't want to develop it themselves, they'll get a third party developer to do it for them. Which in this case, I don't think that's the case in Mortal Kombat X, because I believe NetherRealm Studios is also doing the developing for the PC version, which they didn't do it for the MK9. So hopefully.
Hopefully,
the
fingers
netcode
crossed.
actually works, or you're just gonna like lag punch someone like for the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, that's one of the risks. That's one of the risks you take when you farm some. God, that sounds bad. Well, let's be honest. When you farm it out to another company and they aren't as invested, right? They didn't create it. They're just making the back end, so they may not really care. You would think that their netcode would be solid enough to, do multiplayer on a multiplayer game, but obviously that's not always the case. But XTI, you were going to say?
I was just saying, like, yeah, I think you guys are right with how console took over fighting because the controller is easier and they have to, switch everything. But I think computers is kind of taking it over with the horror genre, just because all the games can look better. You can have the better headsets on. You can have the controller and the keyboard and everything like that, and it's way more intense. Like what was that? What was the Slender Man? The Slender Man games and the other I forgot the other couple games that came out and
There's
stuff like
like
that.
Slender Man, Outlast, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. That's I have not played
Amnesia.
that, by the way.
Amnesia. There you go.
Yeah, Amnesia.
Amnesia was like the first. I think that was like the one recently that's kind of started that. And at least to build on your point, I think the reason why at least horrors for PC game is because all those games are first person games, which first person at least works really well on the PC because of the mouse, the coordination with the mouse. So I think that's why. And now horror person, because that's really scary. Because like, of course it's scary. Because third person, if someone sneaks up behind you, it's like, oh, he's behind me. It still scares the hell out of me. But it's not as bad as first person, where you look like this, and then you're just like, I can't see anything, and then something just blindsides you.
And I wanna see Silent Hill Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That would be intense.
No way. I would do field of view to like 1,000, so I can like see like behind me and everything. I would not do that.
I think I personally get scared myself more often when I play scary games on the computer, when I'm able to have my headset on and the computer's close to me, than if I was to have to sit back on a couch and then play it from a console. You know what I mean? I think the distance and just being able to sit closer to the screen and being able to intensify on what you're actually doing, be able to look around and hearing everything like that kind of contributes to the whole scariness of it,
Yeah, it draws you in a little bit more if you're sitting intimately close to your computer or to
Like,
whatever screen you're on.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
But then you get games like Five Nights at Freddy's, which pretty much kind of lean toward the jump scare aspect. So, there are a lot of horror games like you mentioned, but Five Nights at Freddy's has taken off like a shot, and I never would have expected this. Five Nights at Freddy's basically was made by this fellow. Originally, it was a Christian-based game, like a religious game, and basically what ended up happening is that people were seeing this guy's art style, and they basically said, "Wow, they look like creepy animatronics. I wouldn't play that game." And so he was apparently feeling really depressed and really disappointed about people didn't like his art style. And then he looked at it. He said, I bet I could scare people with this. So I'm going to retool it. So he went back to the drawing board, took his designs that scared people, and built this horror game around it, where you play as a security guard. You don't really move all that much, and you just watch these cameras, kind of like Night Trap on the old consoles, which will remain nameless, Sega CD.
That like
and-
that was that his revenge? He was like, no one wants to
I
play my
guess.
game. Now I'm really gonna make it so no one wants to play my game.
Yeah, I
It's
guess,
like,
but
here you go.
but then everybody started picking up on it. I don't know if it's because they really thought it was scary or because look at any of the reviews on Steam, and about 99% of them tend to be just humor based. You know, like if it's an underwater game, you know, got eaten by shark, 10 out of 10. That's not really you guys, but okay. But
I mean, I played it. It's a scary game, but it's I don't know. It's like not worth whatever it was. What was the price for it? It's like
$7.99, $8.99.
yeah, it's not worth
it was under
$7.99.
$10.
That's
Really?
for sure. Yeah, because the first game wasn't even like it was like kind of like it was kind of like Slender, the first Slenderman, where someone made it and just released it, and it was like play this game, and then like people played it, and then if you bought it, you don't go through Steam. You kind of like go to the guy's website and then buy the game. But then it like kind of like flew off because I guess because it was scary. Because it was a scary game, and then it was like I think also what it was anyone could play the game. Because it wasn't like Outlast where you had to actually like know how to play a first-person shooter or a first-person game. Like you had to know how to control yourself in a first-person environment, and then in a 3D environment on top of that. And then there's like multiple different controls and different layers to a level, things like that. Five Nights at Freddy's, it wasn't like that. It's just like you're sitting down, your guy can't move, and you literally control only three things by only using like two buttons, which is your mouse and like I think one button on the keyboard, and that's it. Like that's the controls is extremely simple, but it's still scary as hell. And I think that's probably why it kind of like lift off. What I don't get is that they're already at Five Nights 3.
Yeah.
And the first one came out like I think like less than a year ago or about a year ago, and it's like there's already three games.
He's cranking these things out like he's working for Ubisoft. I'm very impressed, to be honest with you. But what's worse, and what makes me lose sleep at night, is that they're making a movie off this. They're making a film.
Are they really?
Yeah. They're making a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I do not know why. Can anybody please tell me why we are not able to make actual movies anymore with original properties?
I don't know. A lot of movies nowadays are
People are just
really
running
just
out of ideas.
remakes. Yeah, remakes and just extension of older movies. Like any original movie nowadays automatically is a blockbuster, like Avatar and all those other big movies that was just extremely original, and then they actually tried it. But otherwise, I don't know. Hollywood is really playing it safe with movies nowadays instead of just trying something
Yeah.
new. They're going with something they know everyone already likes.
Yeah, a lot of it's remakes, sequels, or reboots. It's just like
Yeah.
So basically, you can send your hate mail to Warner Brothers because they're the ones that are going to be doing the movie. I don't think it takes a genius to figure out what my opinion is of the whole thing. But on the plus side, it looks like Scott Cawthon, who is the fellow that created this abomination in the nicest possible way. He is basically he is going to have a hand in the film. So great. The creator is going to have a hand in creating this movie. But how much traction can you possibly make out of a game that only has two buttons, takes place inside a pizzeria or diner, or depending on which game you play? How much traction could you possibly come up with to make a full-length hour-and-a-half movie out of this thing?
It's like I've seen movies where there's only one setting, and some movies that can work, some movies can't work. I don't know. I mean, at least they don't got to worry about paying a lot of actors. They only got to pay one guy, so that's not too bad. And then
I wonder what kind of horror it's gonna be. Like, is it going to be more of a kind of suspense, or are they going to make you jump up a lot?
I
Like,
think it
in the
might
movie?
be. If I had to guess, if they wanted to make, I can't even say if they want to make a good movie out of it because I don't know if you can make a good movie out of it.
Because
But
there's no premise
Well,
to do it, right? There's no like
I
actual
mean, there
story.
is like, I mean, the
we
story is like he's in the yeah. Depending on the game you play, it depends where you
yeah.
are. But like for this case, it's basically a Chuck E. Cheese. So he's working at like whatever you would call that, like a kid's amusement place. He works as a security guard at night, and then weird stuff happens at night. You find out that the animatronics actually come alive and they try to kill him because they believe that he's just. They believe that the security guard is just a person out of their animatronic suit, and then they need to put him back in the suit. So then they shove you into the suit until you die. So that's how you die in the game.
Can't be that hard to die getting shoved into an animatronic suit.
Yeah.
Imagine it's quick.
So
But
yeah, as far as I know, there's no. From the games at least, there's no. They haven't explained like why they do that or things like that. So maybe in the movie they can do that. But if they were going to do a movie out of it, I can see them doing a psychological horror where it kind of messes with the audience. Like, is it real, or is the guy crazy, or is it is it a
Oh,
dream?
yeah.
Is it this? Is it that? I don't think they're going to make it into a slasher because it's only one guy. So what did they kill the guy in the first 30 minutes? Like, all right, go home, everybody. They can't really make a slasher out of that unless they completely change the plot to add more people or something like that.
it worked in Battleship, right?
Yeah.
We were able to
Yeah.
we were able to get something out of that thing. I don't know. It just seems. What's next? Flappy Birds? Or are we gonna have a Flappy Birds
I
movie?
hope not. I mean, maybe
they
it'll
made
be
a
like
documentary
cheesy-
off of the apps already.
Man,
That's- I don't
I don't know, but
Hopefully it'll
know-
be cheesy goodness, like Mortal Kombat,
Oh.
the '90s Mortal Kombat movie, cheesy goodness. It's like it's a bad
Yeah.
movie, but the cheese was on par.
man, I was hoping you were going for a pizza pun on that one because that would have been good. But it is pretty much true that at this point, and I'm not going to go into our video games art argument because I think that's been done to death.
Yeah,
But at this point, we are getting into a situation where I think we have game creators that want to be movie producers and want to be directors, and we've got people in Hollywood that want to get into games. We're seeing more and more. We've got high-end voice talent getting into video games. We had Liam Neeson in Fallout.
Fallout.
We had him in Fallout 3. We had what was it, Matthew Perry? I'm reaching for stars here, folks. Matthew
yeah,
Perry
what
in
was that?
in
God
New
of War?
Vegas. Yeah, and then in God of War.
I meant
What else
meant
we
Call
got?
of Duty.
Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, Call of Duty has a lot of celebrities.
God of War
The
would
Ghost
be
and
interesting.
Destiny too. The
Yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah. So I mean, and of course, there's Nolan North, who pretty much voices everybody
Yeah.
in every game. Honestly, the only reason I played Saints Row for the PC so much is because of the Cockney voice. That was worthwhile.
Oh, yeah.
And then I heard it again as the Penguin. So hey, in the Arkham series. So that's another thing that's coming out. We've got a lot of good PC games that are coming out. Who am I
Yeah,
kidding?
Arkham
We've
Knight.
got-
I'm
we got
excited
Arkham
for that.
Knight. Yeah, I can't wait to see Scarecrow get pushed off to the side and it be the Joker again.
Titan Souls. That game looks interesting.
Titan Souls. Yeah, the Souls games scare me. I suck at them. I die a lot. If I were to record how many times I've died, I'd still be recording. I'd still be in front of it right now. But
They're doing Titan Souls. I thought they had Bloodborne for the PS4.
Bloodborne, that'd be good.
Oh yeah.
That's all I want.
But I mean, we've already talked about Mortal Kombat. We've already talked about GTA. Because come on, we're gonna get the best GTA just to PC Master Race this up a little bit. We're
Yeah.
gonna get the best GTA. I mean,
And
even
that's what
Rockstar
they
has
said?
come out and said we're gonna get the best quality. It's gonna be 60 frames and up. It's going to be movie quality because, again, games are just turning into movies and movies are turning into games. Dogs and cats are living together. It's total anarchy. So GTA 5, we're finally getting the heist that console people have been screaming for since it was released,
Yeah.
but we're
What was
getting
that,
it.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now they're just If memory
like a
serves
year
me,
and a half.
Heiser just coming around, but PC is going to have it immediately. So that being said, are we getting into a point where does every game have to have a multiplayer, or does it fit for GTA? Do you think?
I
What do you
I
think?
really think it does, just
Yeah.
because the explosion, which which I think the explosion of RP mods has happened,
Mm.
and I think they want to. I personally think they want to get on that bandwagon because it kind of just the whole GTA world kind of fits that, especially with an online capability now. I think it really just fits for RP, and if they make it at least I guess on the PC where people could modify it, which they probably won't do, but just as it is now, people just being able to do it, just when it comes out, I think it just really fits for that personally.
Yeah, I thought when you said the reason was explosions, I thought that was it. Like I thought you were gonna end it like
That was the end of the
explosions. That's it.
conversation.
But yeah, no, yeah, modding. That's what it is. At least for the PC, it's like the modding is the GTA's biggest appeal to when it hits PCs. For the modding is, I mean, of course, the 180p and the 60 frames per second is like PC master race, of course. Like that's gonna be beautiful. And then I think they were doing a video editor, and you can do it like shoot movies
Yeah.
and stuff,
Well,
things like that.
It's not even that. It obviously, if you can run it in 4K, God, do it. If you've got the hardware to do it. So according to a rep for Rockstar, this is really interesting. So in order to run the game at 1080p at 60 frames a second, they are suggesting an NVIDIA GTX 660 2 gig or an AMD HD 7870 with 2 gig, which is not bad. I mean, I would imagine most people are probably running that at this point, but to run it at 4K on a 4K display at 30 frames a second, you need minimum an AMD HD 7870 or an NVIDIA GTX 760 with 2 gig of RAM. But in order to do the 4K at a solid 60 frames per second, you need, quote, a high-end SLI or Crossfire setup. So you've got to be plunking down some pretty serious cash in order to get GTA in all its PC master race glory.
Yeah, that 4K.
Yeah. And beyond that, this is actually the part that surprised me. If you want the physical version of GTA 5, I don't know if anybody's seen the numbers, but you need, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 DVDs to install.
Oh, really? Okay, that's okay. Now I know. Thank you. 'Cause I had a conversation with my friend the other day because I am a physical copy collector of games.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna get the physical copy when it comes out, and then he's like, he's like, oh, nice, and then he's like, wait a minute, how many CDs is that gonna be? I'm like, I don't even know. I went on Amazon to see because usually in the product details they tell you how many CDs. Even Amazon was like, we're not gonna tell you. So I'm like, okay.
Well, either way, movies as games are coming at a price, and here's why I kind of segued into that, because you need 65 gig for the download.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 65 gigabyte download just to get the installer. And then when you factor in all the video, when it's decompressed, when you factor in all of that, you are probably going to fill a low-end hard drive with just this game.
Yeah.
So there's the side effect is as we get closer to we're past photorealism, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
So now that we're at that point, when does it end? Because I don't think everybody's got a good solid internet connection for that.
Yeah, and also as just a quick side note, Mortal Kombat X also is 60, I think around 60 gigs for the same as GTA. So it's like it's not only GTA. It's like Mortal Kombat, which is a fighting game, not an open world game, also does that. So it's like it's getting insane now.
So is that one also going to be on 7 discs? I mean, has it been said?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
My question is though, because I personally on this PC that I built, it's been about a year now. I don't even have a disk drive on it. I just, I kind of wonder who, because I haven't needed to use one in years. That's why I just said I'm not even gonna put one in on this one to save me, well, what, like $20 now. I mean, you can get a Blu-ray drive for like 20, $30. So I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, they're not really that expensive anymore. But at the same time, with all the way to get things digitally and downloadable. And I mean, who really needs a physical copy of anything anymore?
Well, I mean, how good's your internet connection? That's the big trade-off is the people that are still using physical media. I mean, I'm running a laptop right now that doesn't have a disk drive. I'm using I use a gaming laptop, so sue me. But I don't have a DVD drive on this thing. So a lot of the old games that I used to play, I mean, I can get digitally from, good old games, or I can get, I'm not going to say the other thing, but not going to imply anybody should go to a Bay of Pirates, but but GOG pretty much takes care of all that because Baldur's Gate and The Witcher, which I just recently picked up. I'm gonna get to that in a second. System Shock 2, BioShock, all those other fun ones.
Deus Ex 1.
Yeah, but all of those that I used to use Diablo 2, for example, I had my discs. I still have my discs in the other room for a lot of my old games and a lot of old DOS ones too. But that being said, the people that have bad internet connection, the people that are out in rural areas, for example.
Dial-up.
Yeah, who's using dial-up?
Yeah.
Get out.
They
They
may have upgraded the DSL by now, but still.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is even on DSL, that's gonna take you some time, and if you're capped, God, if you have a data cap, you're screwed. Either way.
I remember when I had dial-up when I was a kid, it took me 2 days to download MapleStory. I had to leave the computer on overnight. That was when it was struggles, so I perfectly understand what you mean.
Someone picks up the phone, it's done, man. It's game over.
Yeah, it's done. It's like no phone calls for 2 days. They could leave a note. I totally understand.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. How is everybody's internet connection? Out of curiosity, who does everybody use?
I do currently Comcast as of now. I've done Verizon, but as of now, Comcast. And then also my roommate preloaded GTA 5. And he said it actually was pretty well. He said it took forever. It took like hours to do. So, but Comcast hasn't been on us. They haven't been going like, what are you downloading? Or anything like that. And I don't know what plan for Comcast we have. But so far, it's been fine. He downloaded it. It took hours, and you can't play anything else online, or you're gonna lag like hell. I tried to play Dota when he was doing it, and I was lagging hard. But so far, that went well. So that's for Comcast. I don't know about you guys. If you guys,
No, I use a. Go ahead, DJ. Sorry.
I don't even have. I kind of live in what you call a rural, but I have cable internet, but it's not through any of the main competitors.
Right back.
But I use I think my download like it's about 25, and I get about 3 to 5 up depending on what time of day it is. So it's kind of decent, but it's still kind of potato at the same time.
yeah.
If that's potato, mine is horrible. Mine I got 10 megabytes download and like 60 kilobytes upload, 0.60 or something like that right now. It's a pain.
It's at the point where you almost have to recommend, hey, go to college, get into a college, use their internet connection for a little bit, and then leave.
Yeah,
I wish it was that easy.
Well,
I always want to try that stuff. Sorry.
Or just move to a place that does Google Fiber. You know where that.
Yeah.
I wish.
When you compare America's internet to overseas internet, ours is complete potato anyways, no matter which route you go. because I hear about, I'm a frequent Twitch viewer, so I view a bunch of channels, and when people talk about internet problems and such, and it comes about, you hear these people that live overseas, and they talk about what they pay for the speeds they get. I'm all like, we are all getting raped over here in the U.S. when it comes to internet.
Yeah.
We're just absolutely getting raped for what we pay and the bandwidth we get. And it just makes me cringe, and I almost just want to leave this country just for to have awesome internet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, the game download thing, that's more of a that's more of a societal problem rather than a game community problem. Because it's just like Verizon, Comcast, and whoever the other big internet provider is, they're the ones that like need to step it up. They got like,
And I mean, I'm just looking at the list right now. So the U.S. is 28 out of a possible 200 that are ranked. I mean, we're behind Taiwan, Macau, Denmark, Iceland, Monaco, France. Yeah, we're
Iceland?
we're pretty far down. The U.S. is not doing so well. Although this kind of number one, in case anybody's curious, right now is Singapore, and they get 116.94 megabytes per second.
I can't even
Just-
imagine
Just-
something like that.
Just saying. Which explains why a lot of guys in IT retire to Singapore. That explains everything right there.
What about Google Fiber? Is that going to be our like main thing for us? 'Cause
it's
Google
only
Fiber is really fast.
yeah. So far, it's only in select places.
If it
like,
explodes.
select places. Yeah, exactly. Because Google's like, they would. The only reason why they are doing Google Fiber is so that the companies, the big internet provider companies, can step it up. It's like,
Yeah.
that's why Google Fiber is like, come on, guys, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
because
I mean,
it doesn't
yeah.
seem like they're pushing Google Fiber that much. Google Fiber has been out for a long time, but you never really hear about it unless you're talking to other people or you've seen articles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it just
Well,
seems like they're just really bluffing.
the
yeah, I
fun
mean, I
part
don't know
about
though,
Google
because I don't
Fiber.
know.
I mean,
Oh,
the
I'm sorry,
the
go
fun
ahead.
part. No, because I work in IT. The fun part about Google Fiber is you got to keep in mind who Comcast is in power, and watch people's internet connection will start dropping as we say this. Comcast is basically in power simply because they were first. They built the infrastructure. They leased it to the cities and counties for a song and just said, hey, almost like a Don Corleone, hey, in case we ever need anything. So to a point, the reason you don't hear too much, like for example, I'm in Portland, Oregon, and Google Fiber is slowly dropping hints here and there, almost like like they're sending out leaflets and whatnot, like it's during wartime, and they're sending all kinds of propaganda everywhere. But the problem is the city itself has some kind of goofy exclusivity deal where they cannot break it. But if Google gets enough people signing up saying they want it, then that will give them more of a chance to say, hey, we have this many people that want it. But still, it's all down to politics. I actually personally use a small fiber company that's in Oregon, but still a lot of my clients use Comcast because they have no choice because there's nobody else. I mean, in Texas, I had to use Charter and they were terrible. But
Well, that's kind of with me. I'm in my area, I'm really limited. It's either you get wireless with a data cap, or you go DSL, satellite, or you go with what I have, which is absolutely the only cable provider you can get up here. And they're not even one of the main companies, which is completely sad in my opinion. But then again, I think that has a lot to do with who runs the city I live in, and it's kind of a college that's, they're really it's a religious college, so they kind of have a lot of say in what gets added into the city. So because they pay a lot into the city, so of course they would get a lot of say. But I just think it's kind of ridiculous that you can't even get even some of the main providers that would be better, even if you don't want them. They would be better as a provider just because they could give you the better speeds. But you can't get them.
Yeah. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't, I guess, is, we've all dealt with Comcast. I do love hearing these stories, which, by the way, Comcast, if you want a PR guy, hi. I love reading these stories. Whether they're true or not remains to be seen. I'm still skeptical, but where you've got people saying, yeah, Comcast changed my name on my bill to asshole Jones or something like that, or because they called up and complained. And I'm pretty sure some of those might be faked, but it's hard to tell. I mean, when you're ripping on a company so often, it's hard to tell what's real and what's fiction. But anyway, wow, we got really off topic. Let's stay back. I actually like getting off topic like that. So let's keep going. Who else wants to rail on stuff?
So what expansion are you guys really looking forward to? Like for any games or any like MMOs or anything?
For the new Dota 2 update. When is it coming, Gaben? Please tell us. We need to know.
Dota 2 update.
For Dota 2, there's a new update. Last year what they said was there's going to be a new update for Dota. They're going to switch Dota 2 from the Source 1 engine, which is what it's currently running on, to Source 2 when they announced Source 2 like a couple months ago. But then they're like, Source 2 it's coming out and we're going to switch Dota to it cuz Dota is a it's online continuous game where you don't like re-release it. You currently update it. So they're going to change it completely to Source 2. And last year they said it's coming out in early 2015. It's April 2015. It's still in the international, the Dota 2 championship, the biggest tournament for Dota 2, is in August. So people are like, it has to come before the tournament or it's going to like mess up everything. So everyone's waiting. We're waiting for the update.
So the Source 2 engine is going to make it like run smoother, or is it going to make it look better? Or
I believe at least the only information, or not the only, but the main information we have is the description that Valve gave about Source 2, which is it's mainly to it's basically increasing the capabilities of user creative tools. So for like modding stuff like that, but I think on top of that, it is going to help the performance. It's going to fix bugs from Source 1. I don't know, like probably improve graphics and run like the running processing of a game. I don't know, but yeah.
So you're saying that Dota will now have hats, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, even more hats. It's you can create the most eccentric hats in Source 2 now. So it's hats 2.0.
The hat 2.0 patch, it's almost as good as the Luke 2.0 patch in Diablo 3. Hats.
I'm currently waiting for the Final Fantasy 14 expansion, Heaven Ward, or whatever.
That's something I haven't heard of in a while. Tell me about that.
Final Fantasy 14 it's pretty fun. It's a good game. It comes with a lot of classes. The next expansion is gonna come with a lot more change, a lot more PvP changes, a lot more battlegrounds, and a lot of stuff. I actually don't know all the stuff about it, but I saw the trailer and I was like, yeah, I'm getting the game. That's all I need to see. It doesn't matter what else. But I'm not really sure how long it's going to take for it to get here, though.
It's supposed to be released the 23rd of June, and I guess they increased the level cap to 60. New playable race, a dragon-like. Oh God, I don't even know how to pronounce this. It's AURA, but it's spaced. So it's like aura, but aura spaced. So I don't know how you pronounce that.
Aura spaced. Okay. Space aura. Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, we're getting closer to Final Fantasy 27. Awesome.
Because I played the original Final Fantasy 11, and I played on the Xbox 360 like 5 years ago, and it was a really, really fun game. But mainly the only reason I really played it because I wasn't really into MMOs back then. I really was into Halo and stuff like that. I was playing consoles and stuff. And then when I started to play that game, that's when I kind of get back, into the MMO field because it was a really, really fun game. The fighting was hard, the techniques was hard and everything like that. But then, of course, I started switching to computer, and then I started playing other games. But Final Fantasy 14 is really fresh. It's a lot better than the the game that we no longer talk about, the original Final Fantasy 14 that they released. I forgot the I forgot the name for that game. You know, but that's the game we won't be talking about. And then they re-released this one, and this one's a lot better. And Heavenward is definitely going to be a big seller for sure. The original Final Fantasy 11, is still a subscription-based game, and it's been out for 10 years or something like that, along with WoW. So I don't know. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for a resurgence of Phantasy Star Online, but I know that's not going to happen. But I can hope, damn it.
Phantasy Star Online, hopefully.
Yeah. Nice.
They have like a Korean game already. They just didn't bring it to America.
Of course not.
Of course not. Yeah. But another expansion I'm waiting for is Heart of Thorns for Guild Wars 2. They're introducing so much stuff. They're introducing the flying, the new mechanics, the new Revenant class, which is, oh my gosh, I'm going to spend like endless days of my life playing that game and playing the new class. Because a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on the reviews and stuff saying that this is the idea of the classes that they wanted to do, and they just put them into one. All the missed ideas, all the ideas they didn't get to put in the classes, they threw into one overpowered class called the Revenant, and then they put it in the new expansion.
So
But
that's going to be
hopefully the expansion's
nerfed
good.
like within the first week, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be getting bulldozed with nerfs and everything, I'm sure, and just tweaks and remakes and everything like that. Because when you look at the gameplay and everything, it looks extremely overpowered just from the gameplay. And people always, of course, they tweak the numbers, they calculate things, and they find the best possible builds and stuff like that they can do to, just destroy people in PvP.
Now, I mean, you play a lot of Guild Wars. I mean, did you play the original Guild Wars trilogy?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, the Guild Wars one, yeah.
Yeah. So they, ArenaNet and NCSoft and all that, I think they had a really good thing. And I think they still have a really good thing with the idea of buy the game, no cost for servers, no cost for upkeep.
Oh, yeah.
And I say this as someone that has, I think, like 4 different subscriptions going concurrently right now. But I still play Guild Wars 2 on occasion. I still... Rift is there somewhere. Is Aeon still a thing? I forget.
I mean,
is Aeon still around?
I have Aeon, but Aeon is just too overwhelming at this point, because the game's been out too long to have too many classes. Like, if you look at live streams or like videos, stuff like that, you see them with like 4 or 5 bars full of skills and potions and everything. And when you look at something like that and you're new to either MMO or you're new to the game period, it's really discouraging to see that you have to learn all this stuff compared to someone like, with Guild Wars, you just learn your 5 stuff and then you learn your other 5 stuff and you're good. Or like, with WoW, where they had to crunch the skills and, move all the stats and stuff around to make it easier, because a lot of people don't want to see all that.
Yeah.
They went with the more is better route is what they went with.
Yeah.
I think
Like,
Aeon
more.
was still a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Completely dead.
I just loaded up the site, but God, it probably should be. There's a wonderful little flag on there that says new for Brazilians. So, congratulations, Brazil. I don't know.
And Aeon actually added the new gunner class.
Oh God, I don't know. Aeon, it's weird, but I've hit like a lot of the major MMOs. I went through EverQuest, then EverQuest 2, then Star Wars Galaxies, which we're not talking about ever, and then New Game Experience, my ass. And then I went through Aeon, and then I went through. It all felt like it was trying to. This is going to sound like I'm sucking up to Blizzard. Hi, Blizzard. But it almost all came back to feeling like this is a reskin of something I've already played before. And WoW wasn't even first. EverQuest, even before that. EverQuest was kind of the big thing, and then WoW came around. So, I don't know.
I mean, with me, they try. I think that they have the fundamentals of WoW and Aeon, but I think they changed it enough with the mechanics of flying and the mechanics of the PvP and the mechanics that you have to, do your spells properly and the combos within your spells. and other stuff like that to make it different enough where people would actually want to play it, but still know and have that feeling in the back of their head.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's good. Good. Sorry.
But I
Somebody.
mean, it's still I think it's still an okay game. My friend used to play it. He got me into Aeon. I saw it all the time before, and I realized it was subscription based, and that would turn me off to it because I was playing all the time. I was like, no way, I'm gonna play for two. And then when it went free, that's when I checked it out with my friend. He said, yeah, I played with subscription. It's a lot more funner now. Da, da, da. But it was really, really grindy when I first played it. I've been trying to play Aeon continuously for years, but then when I try to get into it, and then all the quests, all the missions, all the running around, everything's so grindy, it really turned me off to it until they added the fast track server. Fast track server, it gives you 200%, I think, more XP. Still grindy though. But when you get to that point where you max level and you can raid and you can go into the abyss and PvP and you can fly around and do everything max level, I'm sure it's a lot funner game.
I don't know. It's just every MMO pretty much lives and dies by being innovative. But it seems to me that at this point, there are some MMOs that are getting by on just aping somebody else's style. Not that I'm going to name names, like Dragon Age not Dragon Age, Dungeons and Dragons Online. To a point, I guess you could say Dragon Age because it kind of looks like an MMO. I don't know if anybody played Dragon Age Inquisition, but the first thing I thought when I loaded up was, wow, this is Guild Wars Lite. Great, guys.
Yeah.
The interface just looked really, really similar. And it went from, the RPG, the heavy, heavy RPG elements that I liked of Dragon Age. I think I railed on this before, and then it took it through Dragon Age 2, which we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, no.
Dragon Age 2 Drakengard, basically, and became Dragon Age MMO. And then that had multiplayer shoehorned into it, but that's a rant for another time. It just seems like if you're going to do an MMO at this point, is it even worth doing an MMO? Like, has everything? Is it at the point of Simpsons did it style of MMOs now?
Yeah, I think a lot of MMOs really have a high standard to come into, not because there's so much good games out, just because there's so much games doing everything like each other. So if they come out, they'll have to have something original. They'll have to have something that makes themselves stand out. And if they don't have that, if it's anything like original thing where it's like other games, stuff like that, that's what makes Guild Wars so different with the hearts and like the different events, stuff like that. It's not the same kind of questing, which makes it easier for people to, want to level up and actually continue on the game. But nowadays, as a game, you have to make sure that if you're going to go free to play, that it's not pay to win. If it's going to be pay to win, it will die out immediately. Like people will give it a shot, and then when people notice that, it's done. No one will play your game, and it will just die out into dead servers. But if you're going to do it right, then yeah, you have to make sure you have to put a lot of work into it, a lot of customization. People love that. If there's not a lot of customization in the game, when they can feel like they really can personalize their character or make it really unique to them, other than everyone seeing each other running around the same armor or the same cookie cutter builds or something like that, it will die. But for some reason, it seems like this simple rule is like the main thing that no one would be able to get nowadays with all these paid MMOs.
Yeah, but my next question after that is, just recently I for some reason reinstalled EverQuest 2. Soon as I loaded up, as soon as I got past I couldn't even get past the character creation screen without being screamed at to buy station cash, which is Sony's little in-game currency. And then I got into the game, and then boom, 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 boom. Bunch of interface windows all popped up. One controls your character's emotes through your face or your facial motions. It starts tracking your face. That was creepy enough. But then a whole bunch of other windows came up saying, hey, if you want more bags, click here to buy them. Or click here to open up a new hotbar or buy a new hotbar. I'm like, whatever happened to earning whatever happened to earning the skill? What happened to earning the ability to unlock a hotbar? What games that actually do free to play have any of y'all played where it was done well, where it wasn't too intrusive? I mean, obviously, XTI. I know Guild Wars is going to be high up there for you, but of the free to plays, which ones have done it the best? Do you think?
Out of all the free to plays,
Yeah.
not considering genre or anything like that.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I mean, 'cause if you add buy to play too, the Secret World is good. The Secret World for that like specific area of the game where you could just buy the game and it doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. It doesn't make it free to play. I mean, buy to play, whatever, pay to win or whatever.
Yeah.
It does it. It does it like Guild Wars where you can just buy other stuff. You can buy skins. You can buy boosters, experience boosters, stuff like that. Now, even though the game
non-game
itself,
changing items.
yeah, non-game, non-essential game-changing items. Secret World was one of those games for me, but there's not really a lot of those kind of big MMOs that really change. I mean, that really can do that properly because a lot of companies know that a lot of people won't be playing this game compared to other games. So we might as well try to make as much money as we can while people are interested in the game.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it is still a business. People got to get paid. People have to, they have to bring in enough money to keep it. Yeah, gotta sell hats. Go. Yeah. Steam is just the greatest way to get headwear. But then there are some games which keep trucking. I mean, Diablo 2 has a fantastic community, and then Diablo 3 came out, and people revolted a bit. Yeah. And so
because it was terrible on launch. I mean, it was
every game was terrible on launch, though. Just about.
They did not give us a polished game at all, and then it pretty much wasn't until Reapers of Souls where it got to be playable again.
Yeah, and then how long is that after the launch? Like how that's like what a year.
And then even after Reapers of Soul came out, it's taken so many patches with that game to actually become worthwhile playing. I mean, when I got it and it came out, I took the longest break from it, and this was back when Inferno was still a thing, a level in it. It wasn't Torments, it was Infernos, and that's when I stopped because I couldn't even get past Act 1 first area in Inferno when I finally got to Inferno. And I'm an avid Blizzard player of games, but that's what's really has killed me about Diablo is that it's taken this long to get to where I'm actually enjoying the game. But at the same time, I guess you could say I'm a Blizzard fanboy, so I'll play their stuff until I just absolutely can't, where it's just killing my brain to even like sit here and load it up or look at even the icon on the screen.
So I mean, honestly, where did they go wrong? Since we just got done talking about all these companies that did MMOs and probably should never have, I'm kind of looking at you, Tabula Rasa, and Hellgate London and all those other terrible, terrible games that APB. Yeah, let's throw a shout out to that god awful thing. What else? What else miserably failed? Wasn't Divergence technically an MMO briefly because of this whole crossover with a game show thing that they were doing?
There's plenty of games that was supposed to come out that like WildStar failed horribly. WildStar built up so much hype.
Yeah.
And then like people started trying to level, and apparently it's the grindiest game that you can play. So people hate it in the PvP.
That's Neverwinter.
Yeah, that's another game too that was supposed to be huge, and then the graphics was having problems. They were having a whole bunch of other problems. The game's lagging. It's grindy. And like when I first played, I like to play thieves in games. I like to play like the stealth classes. So when I played it, I was excited to be able to play a thief, but then I realized that you are a certain kind of thief, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like you can't change the kind of thief you are. You're like a thief and whatever, and then you go in these other subcategories, and I didn't like that. And then then all the other classes was the same thing. You start off as one thing, and then that's it. So there was no diversity when you're leveling. There's no changes or anything like that, which sucks. But
so I mean since we you not play it, there's the first. But I mean, there's so many things that MMOs can do wrong. So since you're a bit of a Blizzard fanboy, there, DJ. So going from Diablo 2, and this is a question I've often had, what went wrong going from Diablo 2 to Diablo 3? Because it seemed like it was really, really close, but did it feel like too much of a grind fest? Because I wasn't there when it was launched. I avoided it like the plague when Diablo 3 launched. I was still playing Diablo 2. I mean, other than the real money auction house, which we found out was was a terrible idea. What exactly was missing from Diablo 3? Was it just a prettier coat of paint over, crap, or what was it?
Well, what's missing, or what was missing and still missing, is optimization of the graphics. There is no optimization for the graphics. You're still getting dropped frames.
Yeah.
And this is coming from myself. I have a pretty good graphics card, a 770 GTX, 4 gigabytes. It's pretty decent out there, but this is also coming, from people that have like the new 980s and the crap. It's, it's missing graphics optimization for sure. And I think a lot of it just comes from the way Blizzard kind of just looks on how they want the game to be and what they think the community wants. And I personally don't think they listen to their community very well at all. I mean, in some aspects they have, and that's only here recently in recent patches. But God, from the beginning, it just seems like I don't even know. The real money auction house just really killed the economy. I don't even know why they even had that at all. Honestly, it's just people bank so much money from that game, and I know that's from personal friends that made, and I just don't know where they thought that would be. It's like they almost wanted to go towards like pay to win instead of but the game is about grinding and constant grinding. I mean, that's what dungeon crawlers are about. It's about that, and it's not for everyone, I'll give you that, but that's just what it's about. It's to keep trying to progress and
find that next loop.
So
really nice.
Just so why they went with that? Just one more rift. Yeah.
I don't know. At this point, I think I mean, they just had a patch come out, and I think at this point they're probably in development for another expansion, if not maybe another game. I don't know. But they're definitely, I foresee here, if not in the next year, maybe next couple of years, a whole new expansion coming out for the game. And probably at that point, things still won't be fixed. I don't even see an optimization of graphics coming in the near future, because it hasn't happened yet. And we're in 2015, where, we should probably, with this game, when it came out, the graphics should probably be optimized by now.
That should have been the first priority, probably. So then, if it's not out now, you would ask yourself, can they even fix it? It's like, is it just an option? Is it just a problem they can't even fix anymore, and they're just like avoiding it completely?
I don't know. I'm a cynical optimist. I'm hoping that what they're doing is they're focusing their attention on maybe Diablo 4, maybe. Or maybe they just want to see how long they can just push out bug fixes until, whenever it ends. I would like to see an expansion, but a good
example is of League. League is just now updating all of their maps and all their champions and all their skins and stuff like that. Because if you want to stay relevant, you're gonna have to do that. You can't just keep all your old graphics and codings and then expect everyone to be okay with it while there's other more beautiful and more advanced games coming out.
because League came out like how long ago? They've been using the same
Oh, yeah.
skins and graphics since like whenever they came out. It's kind
Since
of like
launch, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's like of course it's only natural or it's a smart move to update the looks, even though it's just looks, and it's like it's not going to change the way the game's played or it's not going to change the performance of the game. It's like it's still to get that graphical update is still important. That way you can optimize all aspects of gameplay, I guess. That's what like at least the Source 2 for Dota is. It's like at least everyone's assuming the Source 2 is gonna improve not only the processing, the engine of the game for the performance processing, but also just the looks of the game, the aesthetics part that don't affect the game, but just make the game that much better to play. So it's like, yeah, it's because
I think people really like that. I think people really like when you add the little things and you change the little things because it shows that you're caring about what the community wants. You know what I mean? Everyone likes the big content, but if you made those small little changes that people were complaining about and everything, it really shows the community that they were listening. They're doing what we asked them to do, and that in itself make more loyal customers and a better game overall.
Yeah, it shows that like they're supporting the game. They continue to support is extremely important in those kinds of games, like the free to play kind of games, or the games where you buy once and play forever. Is the continuous support to the game. It's like, and then you have both the big patches and then the small things, like the really small changes, and then the big patches. Even though the big patches may take time to get to, it's like at least do something small, like till you get to those patches.
I just hope they don't do anything to the community because, God, I log into League of Legends just for the trolling. It is masterful stuff. I really hope they don't get rid of those because, yeah, it's toxic, but it's kind of funny in a really weird way to listen to some people.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the most insane thing that you've heard over because there's a lot of screaming, there's a lot of crying and gnashing of teeth. Like, is there anything that just made you sit back from the desk and go, whoa, taking this seriously?
I mean, the only thing I heard of is a dude that was actually joking. He made it clear that he was joking in League of Legends, saying that because of him, he was going to do like a bombing or something like that at a school or his house, and he ended up getting arrested.
Yeah,
and actually getting charged for that. And that was the craziest thing I've heard. I mean, like people will always find the most weirdest thing to say to you over, but when you actually realize that the stuff you say can actually, get you locked up in trouble, then it's a whole different thing for sure.
I don't know. It's on to a point. I do have to say there's just some things that you can't just follow with lol joking, and there's just some points where you have to go, okay, I know it's a joke, I know it's online, but what if? Because what if you're that person that was in that game, and then a couple of days later you hear that there was a mass, killing or a mass bombing or something like that, and then wouldn't you feel like a jackass? I don't know. It just seems to me that we have the wealth of human knowledge in front of us, and we use it for cat pictures. We have access to the internet, and the kinds of stuff that we try to do and that we try to get away with online is really weird. I mean, again, I don't want to get kicked off Twitch, but the whole Gamersgate thing, wow, some on both sides, and
Gamersgate.
Yeah,
it was that word. We are not gonna go.
I'm gonna just
It was just look it up on your own time, and then it was a huge thing. It died down now, right? It's like almost non-existent now.
It's
still floating. It's floating there, but I haven't heard anything major from it.
The long and short of it is basically somebody's personal grievances were aired online. They just happen to be a game developer, and some questionable practices came to light between the two people involved, and how did that person's game get traction in advertising? Did she do this with said person? Did she do this with said person or journalists here and there and all that? It was just really crazy stuff that we expect in sports.
Yeah, but
Basically,
really?
stuff we expect in any other industry, but the gaming industry, people were like, "No, we can't have that." But it happens daily in every other walk of life. But just this
Yeah,
thing,
but for
because it
some
was
reason,
about
once it hits
games.
games, it's like no, you can't talk about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we are
there's,
getting
there's been a lot
yeah.
of different scandals and dramas in gaming lately because, especially with all like the app developers and the green lighting and stuff like that, they made the whole documentary about what was it, first player or something like that.
Free
I
to
think it was
play.
I don't even.
free to play. There you go,
Free to
free to
play?
play.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that was a great movie. That was good.
yeah. They made free to play about the app and stuff. So a lot of people really take this serious, like that the one developer did, and it can really change lives. Because this kind of career when you're trying to make a game, you're gonna break a thing because you can't be doing other things while you're trying to develop the game, or it'll be taking
Wait,
extreme amount of time longer.
are you
What I
talking
mean? You
about
really,
free to play? Is because free to play is not about following developers making a game, right?
It's
It's
oh no,
about
there's
it's about those Dota
You're
players.
thinking. I think you're thinking indie game. The
indie game, the movie pro. Yeah, I think that's what it
yeah,
is. 'Cause,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
What are
free
those?
to play follows the esports players and the life of a esports player.
Oh god.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no,
Three,
no.
three,
There's
three
there's a
players.
different thing.
Yeah.
There's
No,
a different
that
video than what
Okay,
follows
yeah,
the
that's. I was like, what? I was like, I love that
That's-
movie. Wait a minute, that's not the movie.
I mean, that's another thing is that whole esports thing. I mean, what did we have in just the last 6 months? Let's see. We had accusations of match fixing. We had accusations of just throwing the match outright and splitting the prize money with the competitive team.
Yeah.
We had this ridiculously insane thing. All of them seem to come from Reddit.
Yeah, I know Dota. Yeah,
Um,
at least now in Dota 2, it's stream
Yeah.
sniping. Is
Yeah,
that's
stream
like, they're like,
sniping.
oh, you're stream sniping. I know in CS:GO it was the what was exactly what happens? It was like something with I don't even know. I don't follow CS:GO.
Hacking.
Yeah, it was.
It was hacking, but the way that it's quote unquote injected is not detectable.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how it works with CS:GO. I played Source, and I've used hacks on there, so I know how it works from there. and I play Go Counter Strike. I play CS:GO now, but I don't hack in it. I just I pub around and I play some competitive matches here and there. But so I don't know how it works in that, but somehow they were saying it's undetectable.
Yeah.
And
And
high,
it's been going on for a bit.
yeah, like high profile players of that game, were caught with these, and they feel some of them felt that some of their sponsorship and money that they got should be given back or whatnot. It's been
After they were
a big
hacking?
yeah, after they were found out hacking, because it made them question
The legitimacy
how
of
much
their
how
way.
much hacking have they been?
Yeah, because
how much has
long
been
have
going on?
they hacked, and how many games have they won because of that? And how many
And-
money have they made off of it?
Yeah.
And I don't know, the Patriots are kind of a thing in that, aren't they? I mean, technically you could say, yeah. I'm originally from New England, so I can rag on this all I want. But I don't see anybody taking away the wins from the Patriots when it was that whole record gate thing, because we have to add gate to the end of everything if it's a issue, apparently. But in-game hacking, we've gone a long way from, say, spamming and just aim bots, and now we've got actual human, not really even hacking, just humans deciding to be really greedy.
Yeah.
And split when you've got prize pools of $1 million for playing a MOBA. Holy hell. Yeah. Isn't that a little excessive?
Yeah, Dota 2 was 10 million last year, the last international. I can't even wait to see what the new international prize pool is going to be this year.
Because we've got CS:GO tournaments happening in Germany in stadiums. This is fantastic. But at some point, we have to remember that the people that are usually competing in these things are kids. And they don't quite have a handle on the idea of, I can play a game and get paid at the same time. Sign me up. And who's really controlling the stuff behind the scenes is my question. As someone that does not follow, I'll admit it, I do not follow esports. I enjoy watching them, but I just cannot quite wrap my mind around the idea of what happens when you come into that much money in such a short amount of time just for playing a game.
Yeah,
Which
Yeah,
yeah,
it-
because most esports teams are handle, at least I believe so. Most esports team, and this is just me,
Yeah.
uh, just I guess pulling it out of thin air. But I believe most esports teams are managed by kind of like an esports team conglomerate kind of thing. So so they have multiple teams in different games. Like they'll have teams in like StarCraft, Dota, League, CS:GO. Like one team would be like that. So like those, yeah, those are questionable because they're like such big. They're like basically like a corporation or whatever in terms of esports gaming. And it's like who, who really like, I don't know. It's like who makes all the plans? It's not the players. It's not the players. It's like
yeah.
because they have managers, and then it's like who do the managers answer to? It's like because the manager of like Evo Geniuses for Dota 2, he's not going to be the manager for the Evo Geniuses like CS:GO team if they have a CS:GO team. I don't know, but it's like unless he is the manager, I don't know. So I don't follow that. But so yeah, it's like he's gonna probably answer to whoever owns Evo Geniuses, the brand of Evo Geniuses. I know some teams do though. On the other hand, some teams are more player. What is it? More teams are more player.
Player run, you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, player run. Which those are like the teams that I guess like at least
TSM.
yeah, at least me trying to get into amateur Dota playing is like that's the teams I look to is like the ones who they manage themselves. Kind of like in Dota 2, Team Secret are a bunch of like really high profile Dota 2 professionals from other high profile Dota 2 teams. They all exit their teams and made one amazing, awesome team. And they more manage and run themselves rather than having a like a big esports conglomerate like help them manage their team and stuff like that. So it's like I believe like that's better. It's because it is weird. It's like because you think like you think it's just the esports and it's just like professional gaming, yeah. And then a lot of the guys are like 19, like 22 or things like
Yeah.
that. So it's like you forget that one, they're young, and two, that they are going for like millions of dollars. So it's like, of course, yeah, it's weird to see. It's wondering what happens behind the scenes. That's why if it's player run, there really is no behind the scenes because like the players themselves do that. And at least in esports as of today, which maybe in the future might change, we don't have a player union type thing. There's no esports players union. So I mean, maybe it'll change because like all the weird stuff that's happening, or not weird stuff, but all the like bad stuff that's going on, like the cheating, things like that. It's like, do the players do it themselves? Is it the managers that like, want them to do it? What about the, conglomerates or whatever?
Oh,
It's
sure.
a really,
There's a lot of advertising dollars that go into
Yeah,
every one of those
huge.
events. I mean, it's now on par, if not more so, than probably the same amount of money that's spent on the Super Bowl, in the NFL, or maybe even bigger sports stuff. I mean, Super Bowl's kind of big,
yeah.
but it's getting to the point where I think esports is growing faster than it can actually keep up with itself. And it's just at the point where, okay, we're going to hit a breaking point. What was the most recent thing? The most asinine thing I heard was, and totally unfounded, or more or less depends on which side you're on. There was a Hearthstone player that was accused of using a male to play her games, but it was a female that was being seen on, say, the Skype chats and whatnot while playing. But there was actually a guy playing while she was pretending to play.
Wait,
which
wait,
was-
is this
This was
bad
the
to
magic.
interrupt?
This was the Magic Amy thing.
No, but
it-
is it a it's not like a esports environment. Are you talking about like just a Twitch?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
it's just
It
it's
was an
esports.
esport. Yeah, this is straight on esports from Tempo
Okay,
Storm.
then.
Yeah, she
I
was.
didn't hear about it.
Yeah, no, she was this girl who goes under the, I'm terrible with names, so pardon me. Hiram Lee, who goes by the moniker of Magic Amy. She was a Hearthstone player and apparently very good, but there were accusations that she was using a male ringer to play the games for her while she was being the public face on the team, being the member of the team and all that. It was the strangest damn thing I had ever read in my life.
How do you get away with that? Because
Yeah.
don't most esport tournaments, like at least the big ones, they do them like in LAN. You go to the event
Right.
and you're there at the event. So that's, I'm
Well,
like, how does she get away with it?
The way that they were saying is that she's always, they were saying, I'm not saying, so before anybody like tries to DDoS us for this crap, they were again on Reddit, they were basically saying, well, she's never attended a physical event, and every time she was invited to a physical event, she'd always find a way out. You know, saying that, oh, my visa's not able to work for international travel or some such thing. So she was being accused of extortion of some people she got into an online relationship with. They were saying that she was, like I said, sharing a Skype account with some guy in like Canada, saying that he was actually playing the games through some VPN trickery, and that she was showing herself on Skype while playing, because I guess you show yourself on Skype while playing, and he was actually playing for her. It's just a, and I just had to sit back. I'm like, why? Why? Why would you go to such lengths? If saying this were true, why would someone do so much just to be a name? It's because of the money? Is it because of the prize pools being so high?
It has to be the money. It has to be, because it's not for the fame. It's because it's like, what is, I don't know. The fame is like whatever, but it's like it has to be the money. There's no other reason why, unless
there's lots of ways.
Well, that same could be another example of that, and it's not even an esports thing. It's for a streaming thing. The guy Zillion OP, he was a big Diablo 3 streamer, and it was he got most of his money and donations and his viewership because he played an act that he was a cripple, and he did the whole facade. He had a wheelchair, and he used it and all this, and someone sent him a lot of money to get this nice wheelchair, which ended up just getting a rinky-dink old one, and probably pocketing the rest. But it's crazy what money will do. And this guy he got caught, and he did it himself. He ended up standing up on stream, and it's like he forgot.
Oh my god!
Whoops.
Yeah,
he
he,
outed himself on the stream.
Twitch.
Oh.
yeah, he stood up on stream and got caught, and then he got banned. He got. He streams on
Is he still
Hitbox
streaming?
now. He streams on Hitbox, but he's completely banned from Twitch, as far as I know.
But like, just because you're banned from Twitch, that doesn't mean you stay banned. Because Soda Pop got banned from Twitch like 3 times, and just because he's Soda Popping, they allow him to get unbanned. Like,
no, this guy's legit. Like, just because of that, and I don't blame it, because he's claiming he's crippled and he's not. Come on. I was banned from Twitch, and that's because I early streamed Sacred 3 without having permission. And I got banned for it was like a month. And
that happened recently with the Mortal Kombat X. A lot of people got banned, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably be up like in a month or two. They'll be up running again.
Wasn't there somebody that was banned from the LOL community, some pro gamer, and he was supposedly permanently banned because they were making an example out of him because he was so caustic during games, because Riot is apparently a family-friendly company now.
Family friendly. That's funny.
And so I guess what happened is he was permanently banned, and then he was brought back recently. I saw this headline where he was unbanned.
So he was semi-permanently banned.
Yeah, so he's now allowed to play again. Yeah, so it was supposed to be a permanent ban because there have been too many complaints about you being nasty during games, because that's what LOL kind of is. I mean, trash talk is a
That's
thing.
like any MOBA.
Yeah.
At least from any MOBA I've seen. Yeah, it's like trash talk syndrome. Even on the highest level, from the lowest level to the guy who doesn't know what's the difference between the A key and the S key, and then to the pro players who play for $10 million, or like I guess the prize pool
Even
is
the
5
pro
million.
even the pro players like just
some of them are
cancer
toxic
when they're mad. Yeah.
So take this with a grain of salt, because it was first published on April Fool's Day, but I haven't seen anything to say that it isn't true. The guy in question was Nikolaj Jensen, also known by Incarnation. He was issued a lifetime ban at the beginning of 2013, simply because he had a, quote, consistent record of in-game harassment, abuse, and poor behavior, end quote. So he was that much of a raging jackass that they said, you know what, we can't have you do this, we can't have you doing this anymore, so go away. But they recently rescinded the ban, so basically you get temporarily banned for a couple of years, and then you can come back and be a jackass again.
Is he a jackass again, or did he go like through like rehab and then he's like, "Hi, my name is whatever. I'm an asshole.
Rehab.
I'm a jackass on LOL." And it's like, "Hi, Nikolai," and it's okay.
Apparently, what he had did is he had gone on Twitter and he just posted a link to the article I'm reading, and he just said "yay," and that was it. That was his big return. He hasn't posted anything since on Twitter, so I think he's probably trying to avoid Twitter with a passion. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. People get in trouble on Twitter.
Twitter would probably make him rage. He's trying. His rehab taught him not to go on Twitter. They told him not to make any human contact online to avoid rage.
I'm trying to think of what kind of therapy you need to go through as a League of Legends player to not be a raging bastard. Is it kind of like a Clockwork Orange, where they just sit him back in a chair and they open his eyes and they make him watch his videos over and over or something? Or
they put him in a lane with someone who just started playing the game and they're feeding hard, and then anytime he flames, they shock him.
Yeah, I think the only here we go. So in addition to general toxicity, God, this is how much I don't follow esports. Incarnation also regularly cheated in competitive league games by using DDoS attacks against his opponents.
What?
I think that might be what got him kicked out, not him being a jerk.
That would make a lot more sense. But then again, it's like, okay, well the good thing about that is that, or I guess if there is the good thing about that is that he got banned for a more like
legitimate
reason. But on the bad side, they let a DDoSer back.
But they made it sound like the main reason was because, he's toxic to the community, we can't have this.
DDoS people.
The DDoSing wasn't the thing that did it. It's because he insulted someone's dearly departed mother.
In that case, it sounds like a PR stunt, where it's like or not a stunt, but like a PR thing where it's like, oh, we don't want people to know that he got in trouble for cheating in esports. So to not soil the image of esports, we actually banned him for just making fun of.
That will actually look bad. He'd be like, how was he able to
look really bad on
the esports? Yeah,
because if a lot of the cheating stuff in esports continues as of now, esports is not. It's not going to be taken seriously. It's
not.
But see, that's the thing, and Stylomax, since he's been dutifully watching, which is awesome, since he's been watching, he basically said, if he had to go through a reform process, which I would love to know what that reform process is, if he does the same thing again, the ban will be enforced once again. I'm like, okay, so he did it before, and he did it a lot. He did it a lot enough to be doing it during competitive matches. I'm pretty damn sure he's going to do it again. I'm all for reform, but I don't think he went to LOL jail, did he? Did he go to the forums?
No.
Because is that the reform he had to go through? But
he just went to classic pubs. That's all he went to.
I guess, but yeah. So this Incarnation guy, Nikolaj Jensen, has anybody here actually ever considered going full on pro gamer or amateur to pro or anything like that?
I mean, I wish I had the skill to, but I'm gonna be honest with myself, not waste time. Yeah, there's no way I'll be able to play like the LCS for like League Legends or Dota or anything like that. But it's always a nice dream.
Yeah.
It's always to be able to.
I'm
get
currently
paid.
trying actually to go pro in
Yeah?
Dota.
In Dota? Okay.
I just started. We just started a amateur team. We got our 5 guys, our permanent 5 guys, and now we're just training, practicing things like that, doing scrims and whatnot. So hopefully, hopefully we'll see how that goes. And then also, at least now Mortal Kombat's coming out. It's like and then now that Dota 2 has helped me, or not helped me, but Dota 2 has made me more interested in competitive gaming and also just esports in general. I actually would like to probably try out Mortal Kombat, competitive scene in Mortal Kombat, because the competitive scene in Mortal Kombat was never really brought up to like its full-fledged glory it could be from like previous Mortal Kombat games, just because there's always a hero, or there's always a guy who's OP in the game, so you can't really do competitive because everyone would just pick that guy, or whoever. Even if it's all random, if a guy randoms that guy, he has the obvious advantage. But at least a lot of people, what they're saying for Mortal Kombat X is it looks like it's a lot more balanced, and it looks like that's going to be the Mortal Kombat that's going to open up the competitive scene. So I would like to try that, and I've always loved Mortal Kombat because I'm not a huge fan of all fighting games, but when it comes to Mortal Kombat, I played it since the first game and every single game after that. So it would be, I would love to play that competitively.
So I mean, at what point? Amazing. Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't said much about it, and yes, I know I knocked on fighting games on a PC. I'm so sorry. But that being said, I mean, at what point do you while you're playing a game, do you look at how you're doing and go, I should get paid for this? I mean, I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just saying, at what point do you look at a game and you go, yeah, I could make a living off this. I'm that good, or I can work together with these people that well that we should be on a public stage.
I don't think the thought process is like that anymore. I think because of Twitch, since Twitch came out, and it's like you can make a career off Twitch. You know what I mean? Because before Twitch, people had to think that way. Like, okay, how am I going to get with the team? How am I going to get professional? How am I going to get sponsored? And all the hard stuff like that. Now, since Twitch came out, and people are making careers off of Twitch, people are making careers off of YouTube. Now the thought process is, would people want to watch me? Would people be entertained? Would I be able to get subscribers and stuff like that? Because that's the easiest way now to get paid. You know what I mean? Shooting for the stars with being professional in the games and stuff like that is nice. But, if you really want to just think about like, okay, I just want to get paid. Like, I just want to do what I need to do. I want to have fun. Then the quickest way that people would be doing is going through Twitch, live streaming, throwing videos.
Yeah, because on Dota, at least when in terms of Dota 2, is that a lot of I have actually heard that making money on Twitch as a famous Dota 2 player on Twitch is actually more reliable than the pro scene. Is because you get a lot. They get a lot of money. They get a constant amount of money on Twitch, but at least when it comes to like the donations, the donations, but at least when it comes to like how someone gets into that mindset of like, can I do it? Should I do it? Do I want it? Or things like that. I think as of now, it's more of like, it's less of a, I'm pretty good at this game, I can probably go into it. I think it's more of like because nowadays you're starting to see more people make careers out of esports, or like you said, Twitch. They're making a career out of it. Like that's all they have to do as work to get paid. When back then, like tournaments back in the day, like 10 years ago or whatever, like you can't make a professional game career out of that, where that's all you do in your life, or not like that's all you do, but at least professionally your work just consists of doing that. It's like, because esports wasn't as big back then, you didn't get as much prize pools to survive on as of now. So it's like,
you maybe get like a couple of pizzas and some beer.
Yeah, basically. Ramen.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think back then, I think at least because a lot of the pros now are still the people who were really good at playing games from the previous games like years ago. So like a lot of the Dota 2 pros are actually, they used to be really good on Dota 1 and they started playing Dota 1 when they were like 13 or whatever, like really young. And now they happen to be like 21 or whatever when Dota 2 came out. So back then I feel like the mindset was more, it was just a game they loved playing. And then since it was like harder to like I guess since it was like online wasn't as like developed back then, you know, they would go meet up more places. You would hear about a community, they would drive the community, they would set up local tournaments, and a lot of it was more local tournaments based. And then you know, they love playing the game, then they're like, hey, I love playing the game, I go to my local tournament, play local tournament, there you go. I don't think like they really were like, you know, to go professional as in like this is my only job that I get to do. But nowadays it's different. Nowadays you can actually make a career out of it. Now I think the mindset is more of rather of just getting into it. Like you just find your way into it. It's more of like, you know, that's what you want from the start and then you work your way up to it rather than just slipping into it. Because someone who's amazing at Street Fighter like years ago, like they'll just go to a local Street Fighter tournament, you know, win in that, and then they hear about more tournaments. They just go, they play it, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
at least that's what I think. I mean, I don't know. Then again, it's like I don't know. That's just my experience, my observations with what it looks like, what's going on.
I think a lot of people are trying to stream now because of the huge donations that you hear, man, from the rich people from like Dubai and everything like that. People are giving out $10,000, $20,000 easy, and it's just, you know what I mean. Like even if you're getting a whole bunch of smaller donations, they add up at the end of the week.
Sure.
You're looking at each stream every day, and I think that's definitely the biggest attraction, just being able to sit down and be able to get money from it. But yeah,
I think I honestly think, and I'm a streamer. I'm not a big streamer, you know. I've never made money from my stream. I've probably put more money into it than I've actually gotten from it. But I don't do it to make money. I do it because I like to do it. It's my thing to. It's my thing to do when I'm not doing pretty much working, you know, or I try to make it that. But I think honestly, it's getting kind of saturated in some aspect, and it kind of. I mean, look, and I don't mean to throw out names here, but it's just someone I have to look at Casey Tron, for example. I mean, I cannot stand this woman, and
I knew that name was going to get thrown in here sometime.
how she pull? I mean, obviously because she's a female, and obviously because most of the people watching Twitch are probably men, but I just. I don't see how, you know. So I've heard people say she's pretty good at some of the games she plays, and I'm like, where do you see goodness in what she plays? All I see is that she's got, you know, select things that men like on her, and she streams and kind of, you know, puts it out there.
Yeah.
And I really think that's why she gets the viewerships.
oh yeah.
I cannot wait until Anita Sarkeesian pops on the channel. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to that. No, you're right. Look, it's at the end of the day, Twitch is entertainment, right? And you're gonna have good quality entertainment, and you're gonna have Casey Tron. You're gonna have characters that are there just to play a character and be all happy and bubbly, and you know, man, jiggle physics. You know, that's basically what it kind of boils down to. I see it. And then you've got your dead or alive, which I think would just cause a recursive. Yeah, and then you've got your recursive loop if she's playing the game, and just the whole Twitch just explodes. You know, but the thing is, should we really fault people for taking a platform or taking something like that, and instead of playing the game and being good at the game, manage to take it and leverage something that sells in every single realm of media? Can we really fault her for that?
I mean,
was
like they use her
no.
as an example now in articles, like of how
Yeah.
they're gonna be changing, like the rules and stuff to presently. Because most it's not just Casey Tron. Most actual girl streamers, you will see them dressed like that, specifically just to get an audience, even if they're not good. Casey Tron's like bronze 5 in League of Legends. She has no idea what she's doing. You know what I mean? But people will still watch her
People will, yeah, exactly.
just
People still watch.
just because of that. And that's not really fair to people that actually are good and that want to work hard and stuff like that, to use your appearance as more of a clickbait for people. You know what I mean? So like Twitch wants it to be where you're watching someone because they're good at something or because they're entertaining, not because of like that girl's hotter than that guy, so I'm gonna sit here for a couple hours instead. So they're trying to switch it up. They're trying to change the rules of it. But at the end of the day, guys, like you said, it is a majority guy audience on Twitch, so they're gonna watch, what they want to watch.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, you can't. I would say that it's half and half. Cause like it's like I don't know. You can fault them if that is their goal. Because I don't know their mindset unless I'm them. Like if their goal is I'm gonna get on Twitch because I'm a girl, and it's like I know I'm gonna get like whatever for it, then it's like come on. But then again, it's like DJ is like was saying. It's like he does it because he enjoys doing it. It's like that's what I think that's what anything is about, really. It's like I can't really respect someone who would do something just purely for the money. I mean, unless it's like, I don't know, whatever. But like, at least like when it comes to Twitch, like they're going to go on Twitch, they're going to make a channel, they're going to, get a huge whatever. They're going to go through all this trouble just so they could take advantage of like just to make money, while other people who really enjoy making it, like, they put the time and the effort and they really enjoy doing it. Like, they don't do it for the money, they do it for enjoyment, and it's like, I don't know, that's like a more of like, do you do it rather for the money, or do you do it because you enjoy doing it? It's like, at least for me, it's like, do it because you want to do it, because that's what you want to do, not because you're going to make money out of it. It's like, I don't know. For me, it's like, those people, it's like, it shouldn't be as rewarded, I mean, of course you make money. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, it shouldn't.
I think any girls that go on there dressed like that, they know what they're doing. It's not a secret. You know what I mean? They realize that, they're going to dress like that and people are going to look and they're going to get paid and they're going to get money because of it. And it is just that simple. You know what I mean? They can enjoy the game that they're playing, but they automatically know what they're doing and how they're putting themselves out there if they dress like that on stream. So it's not really, any kind of a, oh, is she really streaming? She just happened to wear that kind of T-shirt today. It's, it's a really simple thing.
Yeah, I mean, I still fault though. Like, I still fault like dudes who do it just for the money. Like it's like, I don't know. It's like, because even though, I mean, she happens to be a female, and then she, predominantly male audience, so she can take more of, she can get out of the Twitch channel more. So it's like, yeah, do it for money, cool. But if she was like, if she just was a gamer who enjoys streaming, and yeah, she may suck at games, but it's like she still just enjoys streaming, and then she didn't do it for the money, then that's totally fine. Like, that's totally fine. And then she just happened to be like a female, and then I guess in this case she happens to be a hot female. I haven't seen her. I don't know her channel or anything like that. So it's like, yeah, in that case she just happens to be that. But in this case, it sounds like she's doing it more for the money rather than, because she actually enjoys streaming.
Well, I mean, let's be totally honest here.
Yeah.
It could be the worst looking person you have probably ever seen in your life, and there's still gonna be an audience. It all comes down to the socially acceptable bags of fat. Let's be honest.
It won't be a nice audience. You'll have a whole audience just talking crap the whole time.
But see, that's the thing, is even the people, and I swear to all that is holy, I do not take sides on any of this. I am a mercenary when it comes to this stuff, because at the end of the day, it is business. Twitch is a business. Yeah. Everybody that is on Twitch is a business. They are their own businesses. They're their own brands. You love them or hate them. It doesn't matter if you like them. as long as they're getting views, even if it's views of people that are just ripping on them, they're still getting views.
Yeah, they're gonna get money. They're gonna get paid for it.
And they're gonna get paid. So you can hate them with every fiber of your being, but they're gonna take that hate and they're gonna leverage it and they're gonna run to the bank with it. Yeah. Same deal with PewDiePie. Same deal with any other YouTuber that you absolutely cannot stand. Same goes for Twitch. Anybody that, if people go en masse to a channel to rip on it without like DDoSing it and taking it down, if you're just going there to rip on it, you're still providing views. Therefore, you're still providing revenue for that thing you hate, even if you don't respect it.
Now, speaking of YouTube,
Yeah.
do you feel that YouTube might be, because I mean, I know YouTube was before Twitch, so it kind of has established itself, but I don't know. I kind of feel maybe